Grand Rising, and of course, welcome to Elonda Monet's Motivational Moment. Before I start, I must do my salutations. Abaragani. Assalamu alaikum. Ikadru. Now that I've done my salutations, let's get into the meat of the message for today. Today, we're going to concentrate on relationships. What is a relationship? What does a relationship constitute? What types of relationships are there? Okay, now relationships can be categorized in many ways. Broadly, falling into family, friendship, romantic, and work-related types. Within these, there are further nuances, such as romantic relationships being further characterized as monogamous, open, or polygamy. Additionally, casual, long-distance, and toxic relationships are also recognized. Now, let me elaborate about the different types of relationships. The first one is family relationships. These involve connections with blood relatives, such as parents, siblings, and extended family, often characterized by strong emotional bond and shared story. Just to put a little pin right here, with family and especially within the African American society, because we were bought, taken away from our parents, sold. When we ran into another person that we seem to connect with, we always call them cousin or auntie or uncle. So it doesn't really have to be blood per se, but if we have a common camaraderie, if we feel that we are on the same page, then I consider that my family. So you have an extended family is a big thing, especially with African American society. I know in the Mexican or his what is it, Hispanic, couldn't even talk, Hispanic society, they have a lot of connectiveship with their family members. So because you'll always see a lot of them together. The next one is called friendships. These are voluntary, reciprocal relationships built on trust, respect, and shared interest. Friendships are something that I hold dear. Now, if we become a friend and somewhere along the line we fall out and we decide that, and even if I decide that I no longer want to be a part of this kind of friendship, then I will remove myself from the equation. I can't control anybody else's thoughts, feelings, or etc. or anything like that. I can only control how I respond to their actions. And most of the time, the way I respond is I'm going to say something and then I'm leaving. And at that point, the relationship is almost dead. What we do after that will determine if we have a little life left or if we don't. The next one is romantic relationships. This involves love and affection, often with the potential for intimacy and commitment. Romantic relationships, intimacy and commitment. And the next one is work relationships. These are professional connections with colleagues, supervisors, or clients, often focused on collaboration and shared goals. I often say I don't have any friends at work. I have associates, because friends to me is something much deeper than just on the surface. So I know a lot of people and I talk to a lot of people, but as far as me having friends at work, I don't come to work to make friends. I come to work to do a job and leave. I remember this one pimp said, I didn't pay her to stay, I pay her to leave. The next one is acquaintances. These are individuals you know, but not intimately, typically for a limited interaction. The next one is situational relationships. These are temporary, undefined relationships, sometimes lack of clear commitment or future plans. Let's just wait and see how this is going to turn out. I'm not a wait and see how this is going to turn out type of girl. So I will leave the situation, because if you don't have a tent for me, then I won't have it for you. Casual relationships. These are characterized by lack of seriousness and may be driven by fun and coincidences or conveniences. Then we have a long distance relationship. These are romantic or platonic relationships where parties are separated by geographical distances. I've done that once or twice. Then we have an open relationship. These are romantic relationships where partners agree to the possibility of intimacy with other outside the primary relationships. Not for me. Not for me. The next one is polygamous relationships. These include multiple romantic partners with consent and communication being essential. Toxic relationships. These are harmful relationships that can lead to emotional or psychological distress. Monogamous relationships involve a commitment to one partner with exclusively being a key aspect. Platonic relationships. These are relationships without romantic or sexual elements. Friends with benefits. These are relationships that combine relationship with friendships with sexual activity, but may not look for commitment or exclusivity. And then we got asexual relationships. These are relationships where one or both parties experience little to no sexual arousal or attraction. Now, those are just the different types of relationships. Now, on tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the 6 types of relationships and their effects on your life. So we're going to go into what is a relationship, the 6 different types of relationships, what a platonic relationship consists of. So I'm going to break down the relationships that I have previously spoke about so that we'll know exactly what we are dealing with. A lot of times we go into a relationship not knowing our boundaries, not knowing where we stand, not knowing how we are to go about this relationship, because we have entered, one party has entered into it in one spot and the other party has entered it into another spot. So a lot of times we don't understand the depth of our relationships. So I'm here to help you or walk you through the different levels of a relationship, what it consists of, what a relationship is supposed to be, what it's not supposed to be. So we're going to talk about relationships as a whole and not just specific things. But tomorrow we're going to break it all down with the different areas, the basic types of relationships, defining types of relationships in your life, and keeping your relationship healthy. It is very important that you have a healthy relationship, because anything that you engulf yourself in, you become. Anything you engulf yourself, if you decided that today I'm going to lie and I'm going to lie all day, then you will become a liar. If you decide to cheat one time, you are a cheater. So it all depends on the way you decide to move about the cabin. Either way it goes, life is what you make of it. Not so much what somebody gives you, but what you make of what you have. So with that being said, guys, I have got to go. Look me up on YouTube. That's under Yolanda Monet Hatter. You'll find all of my talks. Like, click, and share. And as I always say, I love you, but God loves you more. But always remember, I will see you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace.